Welcome back to Studio Bon Bon. I'm Siobhan, and in today's video, I'm going to be making a copy of this shirt, but in different colors. In my last video, I self-drafted this shirt from start to finish. I thrifted fabric and then dyed it and made this really wonderful shirt that I'm absolutely in love with. And I love it so much that I've decided I want another one for my wardrobe. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I think this is going to go really quickly because I already have the pattern made. So all I have to do is prepare my fabric and cut out the pieces and sew it up. I think that this is only going to take like a couple hours, so it's probably going to be the fastest thrift flip that I've done on this channel so far. Most of the time I self-draft my patterns, but that's quite a long and tedious process. So I thought it might be interesting to show you guys like how quick these projects can go if you already have a pattern prepared. So let me show you guys the fabric that I've chosen for this project. For my last project, I had taken this leftover linen fabric and I had dyed it to get this kind of sagey green color. However, the first time I dyed it, I wasn't really happy with the result, so I ended up doing it again. So I have one sleeve left over from that project. This is the rejected one. As you can see, it's just a little bit lighter than the sleeve that I'm wearing now. So we're gonna be using that today. It's already cut out and I've done stay stitching all around the edges. So that sleeve is ready to go. I recently did a color analysis on myself. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it up above. But in this color analysis, I discovered that this chartreuse color is terrible on me. It's not in my season at all, but I still love this color so much. I was so excited to make some clothes in this color for my wardrobe. So we're gonna try to incorporate this into the design today. And then I have this men's shirt that I thrifted in my Thrifting for Natural Fibers video. It's 55% linen and 45% cotton. I got this for $5.99 and it was 50% off for Saturday, so this shirt ended up being about $3. As you can see, it's a really beautiful sort of like seafoam green color. This color is technically a part of the summer palette, but I'm not being too strict about it. I found that my season is winter cool. Both winter and summer are cool seasons, so I don't feel so bad about stealing from the summer palette. I really love this color, so I'm just gonna go for it. So the idea here is that because this kind of seafoam green is a little bit more in my palette, and because this sage green is definitely in my palette, I can kind of balance it out with this chartreuse color. I don't think it's gonna look too out of place because it's got kind of a monochromatic green color scheme. And because this isn't going to be right next to my face, I think I'm gonna be able to get away with it. That's what I'm hoping anyway. I'm not gonna be sewing the grid pattern on this one. It's just gonna be a very simple color block, but I think it's gonna look fantastic and I can't wait. I really don't have many greens in my wardrobe right now, so I'm really excited to start incorporating in some of these colors. I think it's gonna be really fun. So since today's project is going to be a little simpler than usual, I'm going to go into a bit more detail about my construction process. For today's project, I'm going to be starting with a self-drafted pattern that I made. It's a pretty simple design. It features a wide neckline, drop shoulders, and a pretty loose-fitting cropped bodice. If you'd like to see the video where I drafted this shirt, I'll make sure to link that down below in the video description. For the second sleeve, I'm using this beautiful chartreuse green linen. This is leftover fabric from a previous project. I cut out the sleeve with a 3/4 inch seam allowance so that I could do French seams. I made sure to notch the top of the sleeve at the center line of the sleeve. I'll be lining this up with the shoulder seam when I go to attach this to the bodice. Next step was to do stay stitching all around the edges. With any woven fabric, there's a tendency for the fabric to unravel at the edges the more that you handle it. Stay stitching might seem like an unnecessary step, but it really helps keep the fibers in place so that they don't get warped as you work with your pattern pieces. This is especially important for sleeve caps and necklines. When I do stay stitching, I use a long basting stitch so that it's easy to rip out later. And I'm very careful that when I'm feeding the fabric through the machine to not pull on the fabric at all. In fact, sometimes I let go completely and just let the fabric pull itself through the machine. As you can see, even with all that effort, the top of this sleeve cap still turned out a little bit warped, but it would have been much worse if I didn't do any stay stitching. And with that, the sleeves are ready to go. Next step is to rip apart my thrifted shirt so that I can turn it into pattern pieces. Here is a tip for using a seam ripper. You see that round little knob at the end of the seam ripper? You want to first rip a couple stitches and then place that little knob down into the seam. This will prevent the needle from catching and ripping your fabric, and it goes so fast. Now, of course, this doesn't work on all seams, and I had to go very slow around the pockets on the front of the shirt because I couldn't risk it ripping at all. For some of the seams, it was easier just to cut them, like these sleeves, which I wasn't going to be using anyway. I used this back panel of the shirt to cut out my front pattern piece, and after removing the pockets, I used the two front panels to cut out my back pattern pieces. Before proceeding, I stopped to iron out all my pieces because this makes it much easier to cut the pattern. Just like the sleeves, I used a 3/4 inch seam allowance to allow for French seams, and I took special care not to cut my front panel in half, which I've unfortunately done in the past. Just like I did with the sleeves, I did stay stitching around all the bodice pieces. With all of my pattern pieces prepared, it was time to simply sew it up. It was at this point I realized I had made a small mistake. Instead of cutting out two back panels, I had somehow cut out one front panel instead, which had a lower neckline than the back. Besides the neckline, the pattern pieces were pretty similar, so I went ahead and sewed them together at the back and then trimmed the neckline to match. No big deal. Now, of course, this was going to be a French seam, so I trimmed the seam down to 1/4 inch, flipped it inside out, flattened that seam, and then sewed it again at just over 1/4 inch. This is the wrong side of the fabric with all the edges encased within the seam allowance, and this is the right side, which looks like a normal seam. With the back panels assembled, it was time to attach the front and the back at the shoulder seam. I did this, of course, using a French seam. At this point, I also stopped to unpick the stay stitching at the shoulder seams, just to clean it up a little. And then it was time to attach my sleeves. If you're intimidated by the idea of doing French seams on sleeves, you might want to try this method. First, I lined up my notch with the shoulder seam, and then I sewed a French seam all the way across the armhole from the front to the back. Then, in one stitch, I sewed across the bottom of the sleeve and down the side seam of the shirt. With the shirt inside out, I notched the seam allowance at the armpit because the fabric was bunching pretty significantly in that area. Then I reinforced the edges with hand stitching so that it hopefully wouldn't fall apart. I'll admit this is not the most elegant solution to this problem. It is on the inside of the shirt in an area that nobody is ever going to see. I just worry about it being strong enough to last for several years of wear and tear. If you know of a better way to do this, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Next, it was time to create my bias tape. My plan was to finish the sleeves and the hem with a bias facing, and to finish the neckline with a bias trim. It was a lot of bias tape. It's called bias tape because it's cut on the bias of the fabric, along the diagonal lines of the grain. This gives the fabric a wonderful stretch, which makes it great to use around curved edges, like necklines. I created my bias tape to be 1 inch wide, so that when it was folded together, it would be 1/4 inch wide, which is very thin. I didn't have enough fabric to create one long bias strip, so I created a couple smaller ones and attached them together by sewing them diagonally, like this. To be honest, I really need a bias tape maker, but in the meantime, I make all of my bias tape by hand. First, I fold it in half and iron it, and then I take the outside edges and fold those in towards the middle, and then I fold it in half again and press it, and this is what I'm left with. For the bias tape facing on the sleeves and the hem, I pinned the bias tape to the bottom of the sleeve, right sides together. When pinning the bias tape, I made sure to align the ends of the tape with the seam of the sleeve, folding one end over on itself and overlapping the other end on top of that, like this. Then I sewed all along the bottom crease line. Then I folded the bias tape down and over the raw edge. You can trim the edge to make it easier, but I didn't for this project. And then I folded everything towards the inside of the shirt, so that all of the bias tape was on the wrong side. Before sewing everything down, I went through and I unpicked the stay stitching, which is that blue thread that you see. This is how everything looked when it was pinned together and ready to sew. And then I finished the facing by sewing the bias tape down about 1/4 inch away from the edge of the sleeve. And this is the finished hem. Doing this type of finish takes a little extra time and effort, but I absolutely love the way it looks. This is quickly becoming my new favorite way to finish hems. It also gives a little bit of structure to the sleeve and helps it stay round, and I love that effect, especially on a looser fitting top. I finished all of my hems with this method, including the other sleeve and the bottom hem of the shirt. For the neckline, I trimmed off all of the seam allowance, and then I attached the bias tape in the same way that I did with the sleeves, sewing along the first crease line. However, this time I only folded it over once, and then hand stitched it in place, stitching along the same line that I had just sewn. Basically stitching in the ditch, but by hand. And that left me with this really beautiful contrasting bias tape neckline. For the finishing touch, I created this embroidered tag with the date. I've done it this way for most of my projects, and it's becoming somewhat of a tradition. To create the tag, I first selected a matching color from my pile of silk ribbons. Then I picked this green embroidery thread, which I thought matched the overall design really well. I wrote out the month and the year in chalk. Then I flipped it inside out and hand sewed it together a couple millimeters from the edge. Then I flipped it inside out and sewed it up with a whip stitch all the way around the edge. And it ended up looking like this. Last, I embroidered the date with one strand of my embroidery floss. Nothing technical about this. I just did my best to outline the letters so that they were readable. And then I stitched it to the bias tape on the collar. It's pretty simple, a bit rustic, dare I say charming, but I like the handmade look of it, and it's a nice memento for future me to look back on. And with that, the shirt was finished. So yeah, let's go ahead and try this on and let me show you how it fits, and yeah, let's get to it. Needless to say, I love the way that this turned out. I've been wearing it a lot lately, actually. It's so comfortable and it's so easy to wear. I love the color blocking. I think that it's a lot of fun, but it's not too overwhelming. I don't think the chartreuse green looks too bad. What do you think? It's a very bright color and it calls a lot of attention to itself. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's pretty well balanced with the other colors. This sage green is still the winner. I think it looks a lot better on me. I'm really glad I got to incorporate this into a shirt and do something with that leftover fabric. I'm really happy to add this to my wardrobe. Like I said before, I don't have a lot of green clothes in my wardrobe, so it's nice to have a little bit of variety there with the colors. So yeah, guys, that's it. It was pretty simple. Despite this video taking a month, it was pretty quick and easy. And I'll be back really soon with other projects. I think my next one is gonna be a dress. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you next time. Bye.